What's up, everybody? Hey, this is TJ McClelland, broker of Fitness Realty. We're back for another fun podcast episode. I'm here, and it's episode 74. We've got Alex Tessier next to me. What's up?
How's it going? Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. This episode's going to be sponsored by Liquid Death. I just wanted to throw that out there. They don't really sponsor me, but whatever. It tastes good. And then for everybody out there, if you've been watching some of our podcasts, you know that I'm a Pokemon freak. So I just got a brand new slab in Golden Metal Charizard. Booyah. So anyway, without further ado, let's chat with Alex next to me. Alex is with a company that's called Billets. And if you want to find them on the internets, the sweet www World Wide Webs, check them out on thebillets.org. So Alex and I, we go way, way back. So I want to just let Alex kind of introduce herself and give us a little bit of background about you.
Sure. What's up, everybody? And thank you again, TJ, for having me on. Funny story, we actually met in tech school back in 2005, to date us just a little bit. And we were both going to school to be crew chiefs. So, yeah, crew dogs.
Right?
and it looks like neither of us really stuck with it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so I actually crewed for 15 years and then commissioned with the Guard. So I was active for a little bit. And then
Nice.
Found my home with the 187th out of Danley Field outside Montgomery, Alabama. So I do that, 1 week in a month, 2 weeks out of the year.
Yes.
And then I actually work full time for Northrop Grumman, which is a lot of fun. I get to work on Army programs on aircraft there, but no wrench turning, just analysis.
Nice.
Let's see, my third job is cleaning my billets and my Airbnbs. So we'll talk more about what those are. But yeah, I clean them myself and manage them myself. And then my fourth job is obviously operating billets. And then what else? I'm actually a full-time college student, getting my second bachelor's in IT and security.
Wow.
And I have 4 kids. Yeah, yeah.
Shoo. So if you weren't busy enough, then throw 4 kids on top of that.
Yeah, and they love being homeschooled full-time. So.
Solid.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of want to I want to step backwards a little bit to when we were in tech school. So for everybody, that was a hot minute ago. Do you remember that big party that everybody got in trouble at that I was not at, but I just remember there was a lot of shady stuff happening. I didn't know if you knew about that or were involved with it at all, or if you remember that.
I don't even remember it. There are things I remember about tech school. I was really shocked when your face popped up on my Facebook. I was like, I know that guy, because there's not a lot I remember. So
yeah, true. I kind of blacked out most of tech school as well. Just kind of one of those times where you're like, I just got to get through this.
Right.
And then most of it, I think I was in my party mode and I was a little wasted most of the time. So I'm not going to say drinking is bad, people, but in moderation.
Yeah, I was 18. So I had just turned 18. So I wasn't drinking. I was trying to keep my nose clean. I was not entirely successful, but I was not underage drinking. That was not what got me in trouble while I was there.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I just remember the girls' hallway was always crazy. The MTLs were we got to go down there and inspect. And I was like, I don't even want to walk in this place. I'm hands off in here. I don't even want to do anything.
I remember there was one MTL. I came out, I was going to do laundry, and I had just some shorts on because I had nothing left that was clean. And I thought, I'm going to go do laundry. She marched my ass straight back to the hallway and was put clothes on. I mean, looking back, that was so dumb. But
oh my gosh.
No forethought at all. So yeah, everybody was very excited to help me with my laundry that day. She was like, go to the hallway.
I'm sure everybody wanted to help you fold. Just kidding.
Yeah. I didn't make it very far, so.
Yeah, and in the crew chief space, we're all kind of a little messed up, or a couple screws loose, so everybody's just walling out in tech school.
Well, and again, like it's what, 500 guys in that squadron, and that hallway when I got there, it was myself and one other female.
Whoa.
There were two of us. That was it.
Yeah.
So I think by the time I left, maybe there were six.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Oh
I
my
get it. We're a
gosh.
whole bunch of hormonal young adults. Like,
Right.
I do not envy our MTIs.
Oh, 100% no. Like that job's crazy, but I also feel like the MTL job way crazier just because of like people leaving, drinking, coming back, like curfew times. I was like, that would be a
Right.
mess to handle.
Yeah. No, I'm good. It was not something I ended up volunteering for.
Well, what month did you leave? Because I think I got there like right at the tail end of 2005, so maybe December ish.
So I got there. I got to Shepherd the last week of November 2005. So I would have left around April 2006 and
Okay,
done,
cool.
I did hot training at Luke. And then my first base was Osan. And I got there April, May timeframe, I think.
Oh, okay. Wow. So I think maybe I was a couple weeks behind you, or maybe 3 weeks. Well, maybe not even 3 weeks. It might have been 2 weeks behind you.
Yeah, I think we just, for whatever reason, our paths did not cross until a couple months in, I think.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I just remember meeting you and I don't, like, for whatever reason, like meeting you stood out in my mind. But I think one of the girls that I was with was like, oh, he's cute.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, and
Oh boy.
yeah. So I think it stood out in my mind because she was not very interested in the other guys there. So when she said that, I was kind of like, oh, okay, what's going on?
Ah, okay.
But yeah,
Well, and see,
I don't think like you and I don't think we hung out a whole bunch. So
yeah.
yeah,
Well, when I got there, since for everybody else that doesn't know, I was in SEER school before that, and so SEER school gave me, I think I was already on like phase three or phase
yeah,
four almost, and so when I got
yeah,
to tech school, everybody's like, "Well, you're fresh and brand new, so you can't go anywhere," and I'm like, "Well, I'm already phase three, so I can do whatever I want anyways, so whatever." And then I showed up with a rope, which
yeah. You
like means
did.
nothing. It means nothing, but like, so when I bring that up, people are always like, "Oh, you're a rope," and I was like, blah. It doesn't even mean anything. But I did have one when I got there, and so they like accelerated me or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that part was kind of weird because I was already 3 phases ahead of everyone, or 2 phases ahead of everyone that was in my class, and then I was like responsible for people there, and I'm like, you don't want me in charge of anything right now.
Right. Right. Who here is making good decisions right now?
Yep, yep. So when that, and this kind of circles back to when that big party was going down, I actually didn't get invited out to it because I was like, I don't know if I want to go to that. And then at the time, I was the squadron red rope, so they were like, we don't want that guy there. So
Right.
I went to Stage West like we always did on the weekends and just
Yep.
partied. And then when the weekend happened and like 65 people got underage drinking things or whatever from that party, um, they were like, well, did you have any knowledge about this? And I was like, well, I knew there was a party going down, but I was at Stage West, tanked, so I didn't even know what was happening. And so they were like, you're the worst squadron rev rope we've ever
Yeah,
had.
worst rope ever.
And I was like, well, you shouldn't have made me the rope, like I'm all about people living their lives and, being adults, and they were making choices.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can't even say that I remember a whole lot about that. I think, like I said, I did not keep my nose entirely clean that whole time. So I think at that point I had other stuff on my plate. So I was like, I am not looking for any more trouble. I don't want to know anything about this. If y'all are doing it, leave me out of it. I'm a good kid. Leave me alone.
Right. It's so awesome. Well, let's fast forward to now. Right now, it seems like you just have so many things going on. I mean, you kind of give us a little bit of background. I couldn't even like put all of the things you have together going on like in one way or fashion. Like I think I would just let all of those plates fall over. So kind of give us a little bit of background about where you're at in like ADPI and where you're at in single family like residential rentals, billets. I mean, like give us a little bit of background there. There's a lot that we kind of I want to digest it all with you.
Yeah, so I'm actually based out of Huntsville, Alabama, where I have my like 9 to 5 job with Northrop, and I have a long-term rental there as well. So that was my primary residence, and like most people with ADP, I bought the house, lived in it for however long I needed to, and then using my VA loan,
Hmm.
and then realized that I had an opportunity to make a little bit of money with it. And originally, when I commissioned and went back to AMOC, with the pandemic, my husband quit his job. And we said, well, we need to recover that income a little bit. So we were like
Hmm.
last minute, packed everything up in the attic and said, we're going to list it on Airbnb and see what happens. Like
Wow.
in 2 weeks, loaded everything into the attic, decorated and called it good and just left. So from Alabama to managing it in Texas, from Texas, while going to AMOC. And we were really fortunate in that we had like the one bad experience up front where
Uh-huh.
we said don't touch the thermostat, or like if you have any issues let us know.
Yeah.
And they had issues, they didn't tell us for a good like 48 hours, and they're like, it's 90 degrees in here. We cranked it all the way down to 50. Well, they froze the
Oh.
unit. And
Oh.
my second guest on Airbnb, I paid 10K out of pocket to replace my
Oh.
entire HVAC unit. I was
Oh
like, what did I
no.
do? I just so screwed myself.
Right.
But
No.
actually, we replaced it, and then we stayed booked until probably October, like just solid. We were like,
Wow.
we can't even move back into our house right now when I finish AMOC.
Oh man.
This is a
Good
good
problem to
problem to
have, sort
have.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so while I was at AMOC, my commander had given me permission to bring my family. And I actually have not done a ton of TDYs. So I wasn't entirely sure exactly how to get that all set up. So I actually slept the first night in the dorms with my family. You can ask the Shepherd Inn how they felt about that.
Nice.
And then the next day went off base, went through DTS, and found a hotel. And so a couple things kind of led to me purchasing some short-term rentals here. The first being that I we all know how dorm experiences can be, right? Sometimes they're
Mm-hmm.
great, sometimes they're not. I was not thrilled that
100%.
my AC worked only so long as I stood underneath it in the middle of June in Texas, right? I was cold in
Right.
that one spot. It would rain and water would kind of come under the door, along with the roaches.
Oh no.
And then I was like, that's cool. I'm just gonna take a hot shower. I'm gonna relax. I'm not gonna pay attention to it. And the shower
Uh-huh.
head is spraying over the shower curtain. Oh, and so I'm trying to aim it back into the shower. I was like, okay, that's a good thing I'm going off space anyway. So I find my
Yes.
hotel and no big deal, get checked in. That front looks real nice. There's a Whataburger across the street. I'm like, I love Whataburger. Perfect.
Solid. Oh yeah.
And then the cops pulled up and started pulling prostitutes out, and the gunshots started. And I was like, oh, maybe
It's
not.
like ooh.
This was a poor
You know,
choice.
that's Shepherd in a nutshell. Just yeah, brings me back to the
Like,
good old days.
yeah, I was like, I'd forgotten that this was a thing. So
Oh
I
my
asked my
gosh.
class, like, I asked my classmates, I was like, what are you guys doing? They're like, we're doing a version of an Airbnb. So most of us have
Mm-hmm.
heard of crash pads, right?
Yeah.
So they were sharing a crash pad. I was like, oh, I could do that. So I went and found
Yeah.
one, moved my family in, all good. And I was like, why do I not own one of these yet? If I'm doing
Yeah.
Airbnb and enjoying it, why not? So we bought our first one. I actually showed you a video of it earlier.
Yeah.
And so while we were living in our crash pad, we bought one and started flipping it. And so
Nice.
that was kind of the birth of the idea for Billets. But as we started flipping it and renting it out, we did really well with renting it out to families that are PCSing. And sorry, I'm recalling, and I'm like looking up to the left the whole time. Um,
It's all good.
we're PCS, we're getting families that are PCSing and folks on TDY. And then I'm talking to some of these families, and they're like, man, I wish more of these were available.
Mm-hmm.
And my TDY folks are like, this is great because I have a whole kitchen, I have a backyard, it's within
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes of base, and it's not a party house. Like that was kind of something that set us apart from the other houses.
Yeah.
And so they let me know that they're like, but how do I find other crash pads like at other bases?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, I could do that. I can put together a website for that.
Nice. Yeah.
So we have two and a half properties. We built a tiny home in the back of one, right, that we also rent out. But we have two properties next door to one another at Shepherd that are short-term rentals, and we just bought a fourth property up in Oklahoma that we're going to do
Very
something
nice.
different with. It'll also have short-term rentals on it, but it's going to be more like an adventure farm. So
Yeah.
we're looking for more stuff on our plate.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you weren't busy enough, oh, let's just buy 40 acres in Oklahoma and do some more like crazy stuff. You're just
Yeah,
mind blown.
I,
Wild.
yeah, I can't sit still. I don't sleep. So
Hey, like that's how you got to live life, like full balls to the wall. I mean, it's called crew chief blood for a reason. Like you can't turn it off, you know?
absolutely. Yeah, there's never sitting still ever.
Right? It's just like, let me have a chicken sandwich and then back at it.
So, were you ever stationed in Italy?
Never in Italy, no.
So when I was stationed there, I'll never forget. There was one day it was pouring rain all day long, and it's sleeting. And it was during that time where commanders were in charge, like were responsible for whether or not their folks were passing. Right? There's a point where they kind of put it back on the member, and then there's a
Mm-hmm.
point where they put it on the commander that your folks have to pass the PT test. So
Mm-hmm.
we're doing PT at 3 a.m. We're
Oh,
going and
jeez.
launching jets at 7, right? So you're at roll call by 4 or 5.
Yep.
Um, it is 4 p.m. and we have not eaten. I have been
Oh.
up and down out of the crew chief, the cockpit. I don't know how many times that day for various reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody comes by and goes, "Hey, we're going to oh God, what was the name of it? I'm gonna butcher this. I think it was Boobies Diner.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think it was a Navy guy who owned one of the few places that did American food, and they're like, "What do you
Mm-hmm.
want?" I was like, "I want the chicken sandwich. I want the chicken sandwich." And they
Yep.
come back, and this thing is I think it's God, I don't even remember anymore. But it's chicken and it's bacon and it's like it's the size of my face.
Oh, nice.
That was the best chicken sandwich I have ever eaten. I was trying to
Oh, that
refuel my
sounds so
jet
good.
and just killing it. Somebody was like, "Did you want to breathe in between? Did you taste it?" I was like,
No.
"Don't." That was the
Yeah.
best thing I've ever had.
Right.
I ate the whole damn thing. I was
Yes. That sounds euphoric.
God. Sorry, you said chicken sandwich. I was like, funny story. Like the best food I've ever had is at the end of a freaking 16-hour shift, eating a
Right.
chicken sandwich in the rain. It
Oh,
was
so
soggy. It was
good.
gross, but it was so
Right.
good.
A little hydraulic fluid. Hey, it always is
Yeah.
good, just mm. That's my fave.
Yeah,
Well, okay.
absolutely.
Let's
Bring
kind of
it
talk
back.
a little bit about billets. So right now the website, how many people are on there, or how do we find people, or can we put our own rentals on there, or how does that work?
Yeah. So Billets is a short/midterm rental platform. So we are essentially just the middleman. We are a way for folks to list their home and
Hmm.
for service members to find a place to stay. What sets us apart from like Airbnb or VRBO or Furnish Finder is that we went into the JTR and we
Hmm.
made sure that we made a list for our hosts so that they know what they need to do to meet the JTR requirement so that our members are going to get reimbursed. They're allowed to stay with us
Oh,
and actually
nice.
coming, yeah. So safety requirements, documents being correct,
Hmm.
fees, and like nightly rate is correct. So, and that's all built into the platform because we want this to be easy for the host and easy for the member.
Oh, that's so
Excuse me.
cool.
So yeah, so
So,
if TJ wants to go list with us, you go log in, create your profile with Google or ID
hmm.
me,
Hmm.
and then it walks you through just like other platforms where it's like, okay, what's your address, which we don't show until the person is booked.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then there's in-app communication, in website calendar management. We do the payment processing. We partner with Stripe. We wanted to make sure that we used a well-known and trusted payment processor.
Solid.
So yeah, and then like I said, the calendar is in there. What else? You get to add your photos, and then of course your requirements are listed in there as well. So one of the
Mm-hmm.
pages is amenities, and it tells you like these are the things that you need in order to list with us. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. So let me just kind of recap, just so I make sure I understand. So let's say I have a house next to Hill Air Force Base, and I want to do like short-term rental there for somebody coming for hot training or coming for a new tech school or something. I don't know what they offer there for tech schools, but let's say I was going to do it there. Would it be beneficial to put it on the billets just because it's a good demographic? It seems like.
Yeah, so there are a lot of there's a lot of demand for people being TDY and PCSing to stay at a short-term rental. And unfortunately, like for example, the Air Force has put out that you can't stay at an Airbnb, and because Airbnb is synonymous with short-term rentals, people think they can't stay at them, and that's incorrect.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so the JTR actually says that if you choose not to stay on base, you will only be reimbursed up to the nightly rate on base. It doesn't say you can't stay. So
Oh,
if if anybody has any questions about that, feel free to like reach out. I'm happy to
yeah.
explain it and answer. Because we get a lot of pushback from members going, I can't stay. Like, no, our documents are JTR compliant. Our
Mm-hmm.
homes are safe, they meet the safety standards, and we did that specifically because we are not Airbnb. We are not VRBO. We want you to be able to stay with
Right.
us and not have any issues.
Oh, that's so cool. I think something that's really important to kind of key in on here is this is what we love to do about our podcast is really share education. And you have so much education and knowledge about how to make the JTR docs viable, how to actually get this done and kind of go through all the red tape. Because let's be honest, the military always has a lot of red tape. So once you kind of know that system and get through that, I mean, there's a world of opportunity here. And I think that people, if they want some more information about how to do that or jumping on your website, I think they just take that opportunity and start crushing it just like you have.
Yeah, so actually the really cool thing is we have billets, and then similar to, I hate to keep mentioning Airbnb, but Airbnb has the superhost status, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are actually implementing something similar very soon here because we are going to be in DTS. So,
Whoa.
yes.
What?
So,
No
yeah,
way.
2024, you should be able to find Billets homes in DTS. And when our
Wow.
host, yeah, I'm super excited. We actually just barely missed the train for 2023. They'd
Uh-huh.
asked all the business cases to be submitted, and we had just launched our new platform in August, and the case had to
Mm-hmm.
be in by the end of July.
Oh,
So, yeah, yeah. So if there's anybody interested in being a Billets Pro, which is I
yeah.
think the tag we're going to go with, there are
Mm-hmm.
slightly different standards to be in DTS versus just JTR compliant.
Yeah.
But we're going to take probably 20 hosts, and it'll be our first business case that we enter in and compete. We're competing with like Hilton and Marriott and stuff like that. So
Wow. That's
yes.
so big though to get into DTS. Like that's impressive. So that I mean kudos to you. It's very
Thanks.
nice.
It's been a wild ride trying to figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
So I know I think I want to say we are the only short-term rental platform that has figured it out and is competing for it. So I hate
Wow.
to misspeak, but right now we've done a lot of digging, and I think we're the only ones that are doing
Yeah.
it right now.
That is so cool. Well, I kind of want to like move to goals because it sounds like I mean you're getting ready for a 2024 being in DTS. That's huge. What does it look like beyond that? I mean, where does Billets go from here to
Yeah,
continue helping the public get their properties on the platform and continue to keep crushing it in passive wealth generation?
yeah. So at the moment, we have, you talk about Airbnb market saturation. We have openings. We have people asking for Scott Air Force Base, Fort Bragg, Fort Rucker. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have listings there just yet.
Whoa.
So we have a bunch of people that have reached out and said, hey, I'm interested. So they're going through the process. One of the things that you do need to list with us is an EIN. Um,
Gotcha.
yeah, so if you're not familiar with what that is, it's basically a tax identification for a business. So
Mm-hmm.
if anybody needs help getting that started, I can definitely recommend some various corporations that'll help you get it set up and do it right.
Cool.
But it's one of the requirements to then go and get a code that you need to be certified safe, right? It's actually a
Gotcha.
fairly simple process that we can get you through in probably a week and a half.
Oh, that's
But
not bad.
yeah, it's not terrible. But for some people, it can be a bit of a hurdle.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're looking for homes nationwide. We have a handful in Alabama, Texas, Washington, Oregon. We've got a
Wow.
handful more that people have reached out and said, hey, I want to list with you in Georgia, North Carolina. Hawaii is one where we've
Nice.
got people looking to list with us.
Yeah.
That one's a little bit different because, of course, you still have to follow the short-term rental requirements
Mm-hmm.
for your local area. We don't get away with it just because we're military.
Right. Yeah. Dang
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. You would think it's a good cause that they don't care.
Right? Like, come
So,
on, city
but yeah,
establishments, you know?
yeah. But our
That's
vision
cool.
is to be the premier choice for military members on official and leisure travel worldwide. So
Whoa.
step one, the nation.
Yeah.
Eventually, though, when you go, you're stationed in Ramstein and need to stay off base for a little while or want to stay off base for a little while, hopefully you'll have a home there too.
Yeah. Oh, that's so big. The thing that I really love about this is there's so many different opportunities to kind of weave this together with like ADPI, with just military members in general. And it feels like, I mean, I don't know if it was just because we were kids when we got in and when we were at tech school, we all seemed kind of stupid. But it feels like people are getting smarter about real estate, and I know there's a lot of entities kind of teaching that. But I feel like this wave, or there's a train kind of coming that is more people taking opportunity to have passive wealth generation in real estate. So it's so big.
Yeah, and like you said, so ADPI, I just got tied in with them recently, and I love their mission. I know Markian was talking about he just wants to change the way that people look at generating income and for the military and wealth for the military, and
Mm-hmm.
he looks at real estate as a way. And I hope I'm paraphrasing accurately, Markian, but
Right. Sorry, Mark. Yeah, just kidding.
yeah, real estate is just a great way to get there. And we have these wonderful benefits. And I think at ADPI Con, they said only 20% of veterans use their VA loan.
Yeah,
Does
it's
that sound
super
right?
low. Yeah, it's super
That's
low.
insane. And it's such a great
Yep.
opportunity. So, one of the things that they teach is house hacking, right?
Right.
And so anytime I see people jump on the ADPI Facebook group and say, "Hey, I'm looking at house hacking, but I don't really, how can I get started? I want to kind
Mm-hmm.
of stay with a certain demographic that's like helping other military members, right?" I'm like, "Oh, please list
Right.
with Billets." Not because like
Right.
I need it, but
Yeah.
because it's a great opportunity for so many, like you're helping to create your own wealth, and then you get to help another military member out, and
Right.
you're learning about the short-term rental market. You're learning about I just think it's a great opportunity.
Right. Oh, I think that's so big. I mean, the ADPI mission, like you said, is just gonna. I think it's gonna revolutionize the way the military kind of looks at all of that. And I honestly feel like the military as a whole, one day is probably gonna have to get more competitive with end goal retirement scenarios, because I think somebody that learns ADPI early can do a 10-year stint in the military and just be light years ahead of somebody in passive wealth generation and just say, see ya, I gotta go, and punch out. I mean,
Yeah,
there'll always be people that stay in the military, of course, but I think
yeah.
that
No,
maybe later on they're gonna have to get competitive.
well, and unfortunately, I think the military actually does a really good job of being competitive with their benefits. Um, I think they don't do a good job of educating people and making sure that they take advantage of them.
Oh,
Because again,
100%.
what corporate business will give you what you need to buy a home?
Right. That is
Northrop
true.
isn't
It's
going to buy
huge.
me a home.
Right.
They'll pay for my college like the Air Force does.
Right.
Um, but then after I finish college, I owe them an additional however many years to pay it back. So
Whoa.
similar, yeah, yeah, similar to the Air Force. But
Yeah.
and then my health insurance from Northrop is
Yeah.
insane. I pay just for my husband and I think $1,000 a month.
Whoa.
for my health
Eee.
insurance. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. That's not even my 4 kids because I put them on TRICARE. I was like, we're just
Yeah.
gonna leave
Right.
this over
Just go over
here.
there and try care. Yep.
Because for TRICARE, I think I pay maybe around 200 a month
Right.
for standard, and it's got the medical and dental. My kids all had braces. I had braces, like, and it was no problem. It covered
Wow.
everything. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think you can't compete with that. So, like you said, it's
That
just a
part's
matter
true.
of teaching people how to take advantage of those benefits early.
Right. One day I want to see that VA percentage just skyrocket and go through the roof because I think it would change the demographic, I think, of wealth building, which I think would be awesome.
Listen, if you have your VA loan and you don't want to use it, hit me up. I'll use it for you.
Yeah, right. 100%. Like,
Well,
we need another rental over in OKC.
yeah, like I will figure out how to manage it and run it, and we'll give you a percentage because it's yours. But we will figure out how to help you use it effectively to create income for yourself, like passive income for yourself.
Right, 100%. So for everybody listening and you're a VA member, just reach out to Alex on Facebook and just say, "Hey, I want to make money with my VA loan."
Right? We will figure it out, whether it's long term, short term, midterm, whatever. We will house hacking, second
Right.
home. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Oh, that's so good. I love that. I love that. So, thank you. Well,
Yeah.
let's see what we've got here real quick. We've kind of covered a lot of topics. So one thing I want to make sure that everybody understands right now, your platform's national. So anybody around any base or pretty much anywhere currently, if they want to have another platform to get their short-term rental slash long-term, midterm or whatever, getting it on your platform, that's another opportunity that they would have, correct?
Yeah, so actually, I wanted to touch on that real quick. So you
Mm-hmm.
said anywhere, right? Most people would think it would make the most money right outside of base, and they would be correct if you were out right outside of base. That is our primary target. However, we have
Mm-hmm.
three pricing options built into the website. The first
Mm-hmm.
one is for your on base price. So if the person wants to stay with us, doesn't have that non availability letter, we're
Mm-hmm.
going to match that on base price. Obviously, that's going to be up to the host,
Mm-hmm.
but if you want to reach more people, have more people, you're going to match that price.
Right.
The second price is the per diem price, right? So for example, Wichita Falls, my nightly rate that I can charge on base is $85. I rent out each room in my house. I don't just rent the whole house.
Whoa.
So yeah, my 2 bed, 2 bath at $85 a night per room. Um, my revenue is 2,550 per room, right?
Wow.
At the base rate. And
Okay.
then if they have a non-availability letter, it's $96 a night.
Mm-hmm.
And then my leisure rate matches my Airbnb rate because I want people to have the opportunity to make whatever their market value is.
Right.
And if they want to rent the whole home, they have that option.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So when you say anywhere, that leisure rate is kind of what makes sense for
Yeah.
anywhere in the nation.
No, that's so cool. So kind of to, I don't know, put that into my own terms, there's a way that you can have any type of rental on your platform, but if you
Right.
are close to base, then some of that like stuff with per diem and non-A's and things like that, you've already kind of like got that all figured in there.
Yeah. Yeah. So if that sounds confusing to anybody, because I know it's a lot to process,
Uh-huh.
um, I'm happy to get on the phone and explain it and go over it. And I've got charts and I've got,
Nice.
explanations of how all that works. And we walked
Okay.
a handful of folks through it. And after getting off the phone, they're like, oh, that makes way more sense. So that's easy. Okay, I got it.
That's so cool. Well, give us your like crystal ball really quick about what base should we buy around just for fun. This is not financial
So,
advice, everybody, but
yeah.
if you could pick a base.
So the number one request that I've gotten that we don't have a place for yet is actually outside Maxwell Air Force Base in Montgomery, Alabama.
Interesting. Okay.
You've got several schools there, and people, especially like their mid-career officers who are going back to school there,
Mm-hmm.
and they're bringing their families with them because they have that opportunity. They're there for 6 months plus sometimes, and
Gotcha.
so yeah, I have a lot of requests at Maxwell. So
Yeah.
if you have a place out there in Montgomery or Prattville,
Mm.
that we're looking there. But in reality, Kiesler is another one. Um, Holloman is another one.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there are actually some crash pads out there that are doing really well, and they might
Yeah.
wonder why they should list with us. And I would tell them that the pipeline recently changed for some officer training school out there, that they were highly dependent on that pipeline. We're going to continue
Oh,
to drive traffic to you, even if the
gotcha.
pipeline changes.
Nice.
So,
See, and
yeah,
that's good because when people's pipeline dries up and then they're going, huh, how do I cover this mortgage? Then they start going, I need another outlet. So for everybody, if your pipeline's driving up or drying up, reach out to Alex for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, before we wrap up, I kind of want to just touch on your personal short-term rental side really fast because you're actually sitting in one when you were talking to
I
me
am.
earlier. I want to go through like a little tour. Talk to us about like why did you purchase that home? Like what did the numbers kind of look like? I mean, you don't have to get nitty-gritty, of course, but just kind of give us a little tutorial, like how are you going to finish it? What's it going to look like when you're all done, stuff like that.
Yeah, so this house was unique in that we actually bought the one next door first. And we said, how cool would it be to have this one because it would give us a full acre and a half. And
Nice.
we had this vision of putting a bunch of tiny homes on it. And I think we're still
Oh,
going to
it's
try
so
to do
cool.
that. We want to be able to
Nice.
host the entire like AMOC class out here. So if you have 12 to 16 people per class, we
Yeah.
want each person to have their own room and their own kitchen.
Yeah.
Um, but still be able to network, right? And so with this
Yeah.
acre and a half, we have a bunch of fire pits, we have a bunch of hammocks, barbecue grill. We're gonna put pools out back.
Wow. That's so
But
cool.
so yeah, I'm super excited. But this one in particular, we bought it. The Unfortunately the neighbor passed away,
Oh, shoot.
and so it went to estate sale, and we didn't think we were gonna get it. We offered kind of high, like at the
Mm-hmm.
top of the price range we wanted to do. And we're like, I don't know if this is going to make sense. But it's a 3 bed, 3 bath. And it has a really unique setup in that like half of the house is completely separate. So right now you can actually book the back half of the house. It's a 1 bed, one
Whoa.
bath. Yeah, a full kitchen. It's got, it's, I mean, it's like a hotel room on steroids.
Yeah.
It was originally like all the original oak kitchen cabinetry. The floor was not so hot. There was red shag carpet and orange
Yeah.
and whatever. So we went in and we completely redid all the floors, sanded and painted all the cabinets, went and
Mm-hmm.
put in some new appliances. So it's ready to go. It looks good. But like the front of the
Wow.
house had a separate kitchen that they had converted into a dining room. And just it was not in great shape. And so that that was a learning process in and of itself. You should have seen us in here on our hands and knees with a little like router trying to sand in the corners
Oh.
because we
Oh.
tore up all the carpets, tore up all, and we're going, oh my God, we've never sanded a floor before. We don't know what we're doing. My
Oh
husband
no.
is with this. There are chunks in some places. We're like, well, how do we fix this? There were a couple of roof leaks, and so we're going through the house and we're thinking we're going to repaint. And I go to paint this one spot in the hallway, and as I pull the roller back down, like the wall comes down. I was like,
Oh
oh shit.
no.
I was like, babe, I think we have a roof leak. Do you know how to repair a roof? So funny story. I actually met him working aircraft. He's a
Uh-huh.
sheet metal structures guy, so he's handy. But we're both looking at
Nice.
this problem, going, we know nothing about drywall.
Oh
So
no.
yeah, but we got it repaired. If you walk through the hallway, you'll probably be able to tell our repair. But that's the one spot where it was like, we're gonna learn from it. We are gonna learn.
Yeah.
And but we're super excited because we built in the kitchen again. Like I said, they'd torn everything out.
Yeah.
It's got all new cabinets in there, brand new sink, appliances, everything, because it was just
Nice.
they needed a dining room.
Oh wow.
And I'm sitting in the master bedroom right now. I don't know, is anybody able to see? Is it going to be video?
Yeah. Yeah. They should be able to see if you
Okay.
flip it around. Yeah.
So this is going to be, this actually, I'm not going to open the doors yet because it's all under construction, but like this is a bathroom right here.
Nice.
And so this is actually a huge sitting area. And
Wow.
then, yeah, so those are 8 by 12 carpets that you see here. These are huge rooms.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that is
So this is
big.
gonna, yeah, it's gonna have a big old king platform bed here, sitting area behind me, large.
Cool.
All of our houses have huge flat screen televisions with like
Nice.
streaming. Um, yeah, I don't know, like we want people to be able to come and be comfortable and hang out and just kind of it's not going to be your top of the line Airbnb necessarily for ours personally, but
Yeah.
we know some folks that have like they've got hot tubs, they've got saunas.
Right.
We're actually going to put a sauna in the back of ours, so I shouldn't say they're not going to be
Right.
like
I was gonna say that's gonna
some
be
of them are
awesome.
crazy. Some of them are going to be crazy. Like I said, we have the hammocks and the pool. The pools will be in next summer, so that's
Nice.
exciting.
What will you give us? Just what price point was that at? Because the Utah market is unreal. Because when you said, "Oh, we're gonna have an acre and a half of ground," that doesn't exist here for like under price 700,000.
So the two homes, we paid a total of 230,000.
Wow, that's awesome!
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
So our
gosh.
mortgages are around 1,000 each. The thing
Yeah.
that kills us here is utilities. Texas, the utilities are
Oh,
insane.
it's insane, right? Yeah, Shepherd's got some of
Yeah,
the highest taxes and utilities at the same time. I'm like, what in the heck? Because I still have a
yeah.
buddy that lives in Wichita Falls.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is he's stationed out here?
He's stationed. Well, he's not actually like on base. Well, he works on base, but he's in one of the like civilian programs still.
Oh,
With the T-37s. Don't quote me on that. I don't really know. All I know is he works on base.
okay.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the crash pad owners around here.
I tell him all the time he should own more property. Him and his wife, I think they were getting ready to sell their house and buy a bigger house. But I was like, you should just own, like, keep your house and turn that into a
Yep.
rental and then buy another house, you know. But
You can let him
I
know
don't
about
know what he wants to
billets.
do yet. Yeah, I'm gonna
I'll
actually
go
let him know
sit
because
down with him.
I think that his mortgage payments got to be pretty cheap out there because they bought their house quite a while ago.
Yeah.
Um, and I'll bet they paid less than 140 for it. So
Yeah.
that's
So and these
a while ago.
Yeah, so these two houses I paid, like I said, I paid 115 each roughly. Neither of them are actually on my VA loan. One was a portfolio loan and one was a conventional.
Nice.
Um, yeah, and my interest rate on the one is, I want to say four. I think both of them are right around 4%. So not great, but not terrible.
Yeah.
Um, so, and like I said, I rent each room out at 85 to 96 a night, depending on whether or not they got that amount availability on there. So if you want to know like public math, by the time I average out my utilities and my mortgage, I have a cleaner who comes once a week
Mm-hmm.
and does just some light cleaning and then does our flips for us when I can't be here to do it myself, right? And we
Yeah.
kind of wanted to factor that in. I don't plan to be the one doing this forever. It just makes
Uh-huh.
sense while I'm renovating the second house.
Right.
Um, I want to say we are clearing right around 3,000 a month on one house.
Nice.
Yeah,
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 I need to get
it's
in that. I need to get in that type of market because the Utah market is stupid. Like the prices are so high and rent is just not even close. Numbers don't really pan out here. It's kind of weird. You have to be super cash heavy here,
yeah,
which
and
is terrible.
I think like some of the crash pads that I see around here, I know that they're still making some good money with it, even though they're going and buying them. Like I bought some 1940s houses and put some sweat equity into them. You know, like
Hmm.
my husband and I did a lot of the work ourselves because we know how to do it.
Yeah.
Um, but I know some folks that are buying some like move-in ready stuff, and again, they're renting out their 3 bedrooms at 85 a night, and it's
Right.
easily covering. And they're newer homes, so they're more energy efficient. They don't have the same
Hmm.
utility issue that I'm having. Um,
Gotcha.
yeah. Some of it is we're gonna add insulation back to make sure that there's no issue next summer.
Gotcha. That's fair.
Yeah, our roof was nice and cool. I was like, that's not normal in the middle of the summer. Where's all my
Right.
AC going?
Oh my gosh, that's so wild.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think it really opens up a lot of options. I know ADPI, one of the gentlemen that does short-term rentals, said that he got into it because he met another officer who had a fourplex, and
Hmm.
they were a bunch of 2 bed, 1 bath units, and he was renting out each room. So he had 8 rooms in
Wow.
one unit, and he got it back when the mortgages were great and interest rates
Right.
were great. And so he's cleaning house.
Wow. That's
And you
so
get a great
awesome.
place to stay. Like, I don't want to focus entirely on, like, I know this is about passive income, but I want people to understand too, like, you're getting a great stay with, you
Right.
get your full kitchen. Like I said, my property has an acre and a half of land that you and your pets can come hang out on.
Right.
And you're getting amenities that you're not going to get on base.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and you can get away from the base.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
No.
privacy is awesome.
No, I love that a lot. Well, I have had a glorious time catching up with you and chit chatting and just really indulging in your experience the last like 15 years plus a little bit over the last what you've been up to in the last 2 years. So I just really wanted to say thank you for joining me on the podcast and catching up for one and taking the time to reach out to me on Facebook and say hi again because that just kind of sparked everything back up. So I really wanted to make sure to say thank you.
No, thank you for the opportunity to kind of share what we're doing. And I think what you're doing is great. Like, I saw that you're doing the brokerage thing and the real estate thing, and I was just like, man,
Thank you.
and he has a podcast. He is killing it for, like, I just, I want to see more people get educated on what our benefits are. So the fact that you're out actively using them and then teaching people about it, I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, I really appreciate that.
And
So one more little wrap up. If you want to reach out to Alex, her information will be down below or next to us in the podcast. If you see this on YouTube, you'll be able to watch it, and then her information will be down below. And then the website that you should reach out or go and check it out if you have some rental properties is thebillets.org. And make sure you guys are getting on that passive wealth train. It's so good.
amen.
Yeah. All right. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. And this is episode 74. We've got Alex Tessier with Billets. Thank you so much. Later.
Thanks, TJ.